Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Sharpe Show. It is Monday evening, a little bit late tonight. I apologize. Had a little bit of technical issues that I had to deal with, but I am here now, which is nice. And I'm glad that you are joining me this evening here a little after 8 p.m. on the East Coast. There are many things I wanted to bring up this evening, but I think this special show is a show specifically, I think, for those people who are in New York State and who are Republicans and or conservatives. It's kind of special for you guys today. So if you know someone who is a New York State conservative or a New York State Republican, you might want to let them know by commenting or sharing and let them know that I have a special message kind of for them more than anyone else, but for everybody, particularly in New York. But this will go everywhere. If you can like and comment and share, I would appreciate that. If you're not sure who a conservative is, you could take the world's smallest political quiz right there. Click that link, head on over there and check and see if you are one of those. That would help also, I'm sure, if you wanted to do that. So yes, if you do that, it'd be great. I always appreciate it. But there is a special thing I want to talk about. People have been chatting a lot about the upcoming election here in New York State and saying things like, Larry Sharpe, should you run? Should you not run? Those types of things. And I get their concern. I do. But I want to let you know, yet again, I told you so. There are many things I talked about, right? This is literally months ago. I told you that there are only two people who can win this election coming up here in New York State, the Democrat or an outsider. And I said that before Kathy Hochul was going to be the Democrat. I didn't know if she was going to be a Democrat. I assumed she would be, obviously. But regardless, whoever is the Democrat or some outsider. Now, there was a chance that outsider might not have been me, right? It might have been Harry Wilson or Howie Hawkins or someone. There was a chance it might have been some other outsider who might have been able to win this thing. But those people have all been kicked off the ballot and they've all quit. I'm the only one still going. So that means it's either me or Kathy Hochul. Looking like it's not going to be me as things keep going, but we're not done yet. But looking bad, which means looking like Kathy Hochul is going to win this damn thing, which is disappointing for a lot of people. I get it. They don't want to hear it. But I said that there's no way in the world the Republican can win, particularly Mr. Zeldin. And I told everybody that he's going to run out of money. And they were like, what do you mean? I said, coming up in the last 3 months of the race, he's going to lose money. He's going to stop running the money. He's going to run out. People said, why, Larry? Why? Let me tell you how this works. I've said it before. You should hear it. And I have data to show you that I'm not making this up. Here's the issue. Once Republicans see that they can't win this race, they're going to stop funding it. And they're going to go try to win other races. That's what's happening. So the money was flowing into Zeldin. They thought maybe he could win. Who knows how bad Hochul's going to be? Who knows what's going to happen? Maybe this guy could win. And they were throwing money at him. And it looked nice. Hey, look, he could win this thing. Then all of a sudden, what started happening? Well, as you can see already, now all of a sudden, everyone's talking about abortion. Everyone's talking about how Lee Zeldin is the Trump supporter. And New York is going, we don't want nothing to do with that. Now the red wave is not going to be as strong as a red wave now. When that happens, what are they going to do? Republican donors are going to say, where do I put my money? Not in Lee Zeldin. Not going to happen. Well, Larry, how do you know he's running out of money? Well, I will show you. Literally, there are articles on this. I'm not making this up, as you might think. Well, Larry, are you serious on this? Yeah, absolutely. This is happening. Right here's an article. Right here, New York Times. Right, hungry for cash. Zeldin turns to Trump in New York governor's race. Right. There are many articles. Do you own who I'm making this up? Zeldin was down below $1 million. Below $1 million, and you might go, Larry, is that a good or below $1 million? Yeah, Kathy Hochul was at 15 million, and she can raise. I'm not joking. This is data you can find. Up to $50 million. Kathy Hochul can raise 50. Zeldin can't get $1 million. He's already burned through 12 million. Burned through it, thrown it in the garbage. Basically stolen it from a bunch of Republicans, taking the money from them, lying, saying he can win, knowing he can't. Gave it to his cronies and his buddies. And then November 9th, he's going to get a cool, cushy job, and everyone else in New York is stuck. Imagine what I could have done with $12 million. I'd be the next governor if I had $12 million. No doubt, I'd be the next governor. I would actually win if I had $12 million. But they went for this guy instead. Meanwhile, she can raise $50 million. He's going to lose money. Turns to Trump. You know what he did? Some of you might not know this. he couldn't bring Trump to New York State because New Yorkers, as a whole, not specifically, some New Yorkers love Trump, but as a whole, New Yorkers, about 3-1 Democrat and Republicans, Democrats in New York State hate Trump. If he brings Trump to New York, he's going to lose by 30 points. So what did he do? Again, I'm not joking. You can look it up yourself if you want to. He literally went to Jersey to go to a fundraiser for himself in Jersey with Trump in Jersey, where he raised money to save himself. That's the guy that Republicans are lying to you and telling you that he's going to win. That's what actually happened. Am I making it up? Do your own homework. I'm not making this up. You know I'm not. I tell you this stuff all the time. I do it publicly. Why? Because I'm right. That sucks. I know. If you're a Republican, you don't want to hear that. That's true. Well, Larry, what choice did we have? Here's the choice you had. You could have had the Conservative Party and the Republican Party just endorse me. I went to those parties and said, just endorse me. They were like, you have to become a Republican. Then I lose, like every other Republican has lost for 20 years. No, I'm a libertarian. Democrats will actually support some of my policies and will vote for me. I know that. I have data from 2018 and from polling. I know that to be true. That's a fact. They don't support Zeldin. They're never going to support Zeldin. That's not the issue. They didn't want to hear it. They laughed at me. Now what do we get? The Republicans ignored me, funded the conservatives to throw me off the ballot. So now the Republican Party in New York State, I want to be clear on this, the Republican Party in New York State ensured that Kathy Hochul will win. I want you to really grasp that. The Republican Party in New York State ensured that Kathy Hochul was going to win. And it has then people saying, well, I bet Larry Sharpe's on the Kathy Hochul payroll. If anybody's on Kathy Hochul's payroll, it's the Republicans. It's not me. If anybody is, it's them, not me. Well, Larry, you're making this up. He's going to win. No, he's not going to win. Well, the polling says I hear that all the time. The polling says, hold on, you people who are saying this, let me grab this if I could. Here is the average of the latest polls that people are telling you. There's the average right there. The average, right? So the average is holding. We go to governors, New York. That's New York. There's your average, right? I'm still on the poll. Isn't that crazy? They threw me off the ballot. I'm still polling 4% off the ballot. And I'm only in half of the polls. So half the polls I'm not even in. Half them didn't put me in. And I'm off the ballot, and I'm at 4%. Zeldin is average down by 14 points. That's the average. It's only going to get worse. No, Larry, he's closing the gap because here's the thing they say. See, he's only behind by 4 points. 4 here, but then above that 15, below that 24 points. The average, including the crappy polls, which are all push polls. Let me tell you what a push poll is. For those of you who say, well, he's only 4 points behind. Okay, let me tell you what a push poll is. A push poll is a poll to where you prep your audience before you ask the question. So say I want to make myself look good, right? So I ask my audience question in a poll, and I'll say, did you know that Kathy Hochul wants to do this terrible thing? Did you also know that Lee Zeldin wanted this horrible thing? By the way, Larry Sharpe is an amazing guy. Who would you like to vote for? Lee Zeldin, Kathy Hochul, Larry Sharpe. So I did 2 terrible questions about them, 1 nice one about me, then I asked the question. That is called a push poll. And you might say, why would anyone do a push poll? There are 2 reasons why. One is to see how well you can do if things go well, right? So what's my best outcome? I did a push poll myself. I do them myself. I've done a push poll in the past. Haven't done one in a while, probably January, maybe February was the last time I did a push poll. I come in at 25%. Now, would I want to show that poll? Probably not, because everyone knows I'm not at 25%. However, that does show us internally that back in January, if I got my message out, I could hit 25%. That's what it shows. What could you hit? What's realistic right now in the current environment? So if I had a great showing in January, I could have got possibly 25% of the vote if I got my message out well enough, right? I thought I could have grown that 10 more points by November to have a possible win. That's what I was trying to achieve. Now, what's the other reason why you do a push poll? So you cannot show the details of it and just show the poll, right? So just show Larry Sharpe is 25%. See a poll. Not be lying, but just don't show the details. This 4% one is a push poll. All they did was show a push poll, And the reason why they put me in it was to make you believe that it was a legitimate poll. They put Larry Sharpe. So it must be fair. It's not fair. It was a push poll. How do I know? There's no details to it. So they ask questions like, did you know Kathy Hochul wants to eat your babies? Then they ask the question, do you know that Lee Zeldin wants to wash your car for you? Okay, who would you rather have? Larry Sharpe, Lee Zeldin, and Kathy Hochul. Oh, Zeldin's going to wash my car? I'll take Zeldin. And in a push poll, he's still behind 4 points. That shows the maximum he's ever going to get is that number. So his best case scenario is lost by 4. His best case. You might go, well, Larry, that's a good enough reason that he might win. If that's his best, no, it isn't, because he's not going to even get that. Now, why would I say that? Okay, I want to be clear. Why would I say that? Because the Democrats are going to murder him. And I don't mean that physically. I don't mean that physically. I mean they're going to do it in the media. How do I know? This is the best part right here. If I can, I will show you this. Just so you're clear, in case you think I'm making this up. Again, these are all points that you can see that I'm not making this up. Democrats call on Lee Zeldin to be probed as part of his January 6th hearing. The hearings are coming up here in a couple of weeks, right before election. And who's going to be there? Boom, they're going to hammer Lee Zeldin on that one. You think New York people are going to be happy when they decide to link Zeldin to January 6th, which I warned you they would. I told you this months ago. They were going to do it, and they're doing it right now. They are literally going to link him directly to January 6th. Now, I don't think he was there or anything like that. That isn't the point, right? I want to be clear. That isn't the point. The point is that's going to get Democrats to come out and say, see, he's Trump, and he's done. He's done. It's done. It's everything I told you. I told you he would run out of money. He's running out of money. I told you he'd be polling terribly and then lie and make a push poll, as they did last time when I was running. For those of you who remember, the same lie last time, and the guy lost by 25 points last time. He lost by 25 points. They were like, he's closing the gap. He wasn't closing the gap. He lost by 25 points. That was last time. It's the same story. I told you we're out of money. I told you to do bogus polls. I told you they would turn him in to Trump. All of those things are true. But I did tell you something else. Because what I hear people say all the time, well, Larry, you don't get it. New Yorkers are tired of the mandates. They're tired of the closures. They're tired of all that stuff, right? And what did I tell you? This one I was a little bit off on. I thought it would happen early summer, not late summer. So I was off on timing on this one. Guilty as charged. I was off on timing. But I was completely right on the thing. I told you that by the time the election comes, there'll be no lockdowns. There'll be no school closures. It'll all be forgotten, all bad, blame on somebody else. Those of you who've been watching me know I said that exactly. But I did say it would happen early summer. So I was off on the timing. I'm about 2 months off on what I said. But I'm still right. I told you that would happen. Well, Larry, you tell me that's going to happen? Yeah, I am. Hold on. I'm going to be very clear here. Some of you may not know this. So it's important that you understand this. So again, that I'm not making this up, that you see it. This is Kathy Hochul. Ends the COVID-19 state of emergency. What a coincidence this is. That's dumb. Why would we ever do that? Who would do that? Nobody would. And she does it with 2 months left. So 2 months from now, you think the average New Yorker is going to remember? No. You think the average pissed off Democrat is going to think about the fact that she had those emergency powers? Or that Zeldin is basically going to make him Trump Jr.? What are they going to remember? You and I both know. This is exactly what I was telling you. It's exactly what I was telling you. Right? I'm not done, though. Hold on. You're saying, well, Larry, that's how bad could it be? Well, it actually gets worse. Because right now, hold on top of that, she's now saying, and you know she doesn't mean it, but it doesn't matter. She's saying that, those whole remote learning and locking down schools, that was a mistake. What idiot would do that? I guess that bad guy Cuomo did that because it hurts working women and she's a woman. And yes, exactly what I said. She would use the woman card, say it wasn't her, say it was all dumb. Exactly what I said was going to happen. And I said this was February, March. I said this. You can go check. I got the receipts. And if you want to, I'll pull them out next show. I'll pull the receipts out. I said all of these things. and they're all coming to pass yet again. Yet again. Yet somehow, you Republicans, conservatives in this state just won't listen to me. I don't know why you won't listen. Are you that broken? Are you that much affected by Stockholm Syndrome? I have warned you of all these things, and I warned you in 2018. Then I warned you again this year, and you still wouldn't do it. And I went to your leadership and said, hey, this is going to happen. Put me in. And they laughed. Ha, 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 ha. They took your $12 million, spent it on their cronies, and they'll be fine. And the best part is, Nick Langworthy took your money, telling you, Republicans in New York State, remember what he said? We're going to win the state, take back the state. We're going to beat Cuomo. We're going to beat Hochul. Remember all those lies? What did he do with your money that you gave him? Say he was going to support Trump. Remember all that stuff he said? What did he do with your money? He took it and ran for Congress. And now he's going to be a congressman. He gets a nice, cushy job, a 8-year-old dude, or however old he is, he's in his 30s. There was no way he'd actually made that happen. No way he'd done that. But he did that. Screwed Carl Palladino. Now he's going to be a congressman off your money. Meanwhile, your state still sucks. My state still sucks. He got a cushy job. So all the people get cushy jobs off your money. And you're like, Larry Sharpe's a bad guy. What is wrong with you? How bad, how broken are you that you think that's the case? Stop believing these people. At one point, this is your fault, not theirs, right? For 20 years, they've been lying to you, telling you this is the year we're going to win. They've been lying for 20 years, taking your money for 20 years. They're doing great. You're not. And you go, Larry Sharpe's a bad guy. Something's wrong with you. That's all I'm saying. Something's wrong with you. Absolutely. That's the issue. I wanted to bring that to your attention. For those of you who think, well, now what? Why would I keep going? Why in the world would I keep going? Because our only hope is to build a coalition against the establishment next year and the years after. Or there is no hope. That's it. If you're waiting for the Republicans and Conservative Party to save you, you're going to be waiting for a long time. Nick's going to be a congressman, and he'll just abandon the party and let someone else take it over who want to grift. He'll make the next grifter get in charge, and he'll lie to you. The next grifter will lie to you and tell you, this is the year or whatever, and you'll buy it. The Conservative Party, Jerry Kassar will lie to you also. He'll take over as the next grifter. He'll grift and go, yeah, this is the year, but he'll just support the Republicans and put more money in his pocket. They'll just grift off you some more. Or you can support the libertarian movement in this state. That's another option. You could do that. There's a person who you're looking at or listening to right now who is still fighting the battle, who is prepared to take the slings and arrows and keep pushing through, who got his ass kicked in 2018, 2019, 2020, 2022, 2021, all the years, and is still here. Is still here. Where are the rest of them? I don't see them anywhere. Nowhere. They took your money and they ran. I'm still here. So you think I'm the weird one? You're the weird one. It's not me. At one point, this is your fault. Right? I get they're the big guys and they're saying stuff. At one point, this is your fault. This is specifically. Now, look, if you're a Democrat and you like what's happening, I don't know why you're watching my show, but good. Welcome. Please keep watching. Please keep watching. I want you to watch, so please keep watching. I don't know. I guess congrats. If you actually are a Democrat and like what's happening in New York State, well done. You're getting what you want. Good for you. Congrats. If you're a Democrat and you're unhappy with the state, that's probably more like it. If you're watching me, you're unhappy. Understand something. If you just keep voting for the Democrat, nothing's going to change. If you're a Democrat and you're watching my show now and you're unhappy with New York State, don't worry. The Republicans not going to win. I know that's your fear, and it makes sense because you're a Democrat. You don't want Republicans to win. I understand that. Don't worry. He's not going to win. That's not a problem. He's already one more. I'll show you one more. I mean, there's so much. You can look for 5 seconds and find all the ways that he cannot win. I mean, there's so many of them, right? There's just so many of them. This one is him. He's running away from his abortion stance now because no one's buying it, right? New York State. So many of them. You could do 9 of them. There's literally no chance of him winning whatsoever. So if you're a Democrat and you're saying, Larry, I don't know if I can vote for you, support you, because Republican might win. He's not going to win. you can support me. If you support me, we can build an actual coalition against the establishment. We can do it. It can actually work. That's why I'm still doing this. Without it, there's a two-party system, which means in New York State, it's a one-party system. Why in the world would anybody make change in a one-party system? It's not going to happen. If you want to support me, please do so. Like, comment, share if you can. If you can throw some money my way, it's going to help tremendously. LarrySharpe.com/donate. You can do that. If you want to buy a cool shirt or a cool mug, they're nice too. Head over to LarrySharpe.com/shop. If you can't do any of those, no worries. Liking, commenting, and sharing does matter. Please do it. It is important. People need to see this. If you are a Republican or a conservative in this state, what is wrong with you? Support this movement. You don't have a party. You think you do. You don't. They're just grifting. If you are a Democrat and you're happy with New York State, I guess I'm glad you're watching. Congratulations. If you're a Democrat and you're unhappy with the state, I'm the answer. I'm the answer to build that coalition against the establishment. Without question, that's where you can go. Let me grab some comments. You guys, I'm sure, are commenting all over the place. And want to grab some if I can. So many things. Thank you so much for this. So, yes. Let's see here. John says Republicans are the real wasted vote in New York State. I've been saying that for 5 years, John. For 5 years. Yes, absolutely. Joe says Lee Zeldin has closed polls against Hochul. New York Post says 6 points. New York Post always says low. New York Post always does. I just showed you all the polls, right? He's averaging 15 points. The poll in between the 4-point was a 14-point poll. He's not winning. That is a fantasy. Absolutely, yes. The scientific libertarian says Larry Sharpe is what happens when you assign all your skill points to charisma. You know what? That might have been an insult, but I actually like that. That's good. That's good. So I don't get like any points to like intelligence at all. It's fine. I'll take it. I'll take it, brother. It's all good. It's all good. Yes, absolutely. Vinny says the Republicans need Fox News to report on New York State GOP is dead. Otherwise, never believe it. You know what? You're right. And sadly, they don't do it. I wish they were more honest. I wish they were. Joseph says, what do you think about abortion, Larry? I'll tell you. I mean, that's an important piece that you asked that question, Joseph. Thank you for that. What you'll find most Republicans will say is, I'm pro-life, and do nothing about it whatsoever, number one. Or number two, you'll find Democrats who just go, I'm pro-choice, and do nothing about it. That's the norm. That's why pro-choice was with the right to abortion was never codified, because no one would do anything. They like this being a problem so they can fight each other. That's how they feel. How do I feel? I feel two things together, which gives me a policy. Number one, I do not want government putting its hands on a woman's body. I do not want it. No. And I want less abortions. I wish women would not choose to have abortions. With those two things, what can I do? I can only create an environment to where women choose to have less abortions. If I outlaw abortion, all I will do is punish poor women. That's all I'll do. I know that. The data is in. Outlawing abortion does not work. And I just don't want government involved with women's bodies. They should be able to do what they want with their bodies. However, if I change and make an environment to where women have more chances, more choices, more options, I believe in my heart there will be less abortions. I know that, and I've promised. I'm the only governor who's ever promised this. If you elect me governor, I will, one, not make the government get involved at all, and I will promise you there'll be less abortions in New York State. Why? Because I will create an environment to where women will choose to have less abortions. The best defense against abortion is women choosing to not have them. That's the best defense. So if I can create a world where that's true, then that will happen. I hope that was clear. That is my policy. It's been my policy since 2018. It's still my policy. So yes. All right. Let's see here. Shelley says, Republicans and conservatives are totally unaware of what their parties are doing in their name. They're not happy. I agree. I agree completely. Yes, they don't know. They have no idea that they're the ones throwing me off the ballot. Yes. Joel says, I heard an ad mentioning Lee Zeldin voted to not certify the 2020 election, trying to make him an insurrection by proxy. Thank you. She has. I'm not joking. This is reported. You can check it yourself. Kathy Hochul has earmarked $12 million. That's last I heard. There's probably more. $12 million on anti-Zeldin ads. He doesn't have $1 million in the bank. How are you going to fight that? You can't. You're done. You're a mainstream guy. You're finished. Ball game's over. They're already, and he did. He actually did not certify the 2020 election. That's why they're going to want to talk to him in January 6th committee. And when they want to bring his name up, ball game over. Done. So you're part of the insurrectionists. You're part of this, part of that. Absolutely going to do that. And the sad part is you might go, but Larry, it's BS, whatever. Okay, New Yorkers believe it. Specifically, New York Democrats believe it 100%, which means they will rush out in droves to vote against him. Of course they will. And that's my point. Yes, absolutely. It's on his website. I'm not sure where you mean. Oh, what do they mean abortion? Thank you. Yes, that must be it. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. All right. Let's see here. Morgan says publicity and live, the real Larry Sharpe. Thank you. I like that. Yes, I do my best. 100%. Dave says in a post-Roe New York, Zeldin will be lucky if he gets 40%. I agree completely, Dave. It's not going to work. He can't do it. He's still running a campaign that just says we're going to make more cops. That's his entire campaign. Hochul's bad, more cops. That's his entire campaign. That's not going to work in New York. That might have worked again. Oklahoma, South Carolina, maybe. Not working in the state. It's as if he doesn't go around the state talking to people, because he doesn't. What he does, the same thing that Hochul does, is they go into friendly audiences and have rallies, which is fun. I'm not against rallies. I want to have them too. Rallies are fun and interesting. I like rallies. The problem is, if you only do that, you speak to people who believe in you, and that's it, which is fun. It's nice. But you got to get yelled at once in a while, as many of you have seen me get yelled at. So I get yelled at. People get mad at me. People say bad. I put them on the show when they get mad at me. But that's how I hear people. I sit and have conversation with people who tell me things. How in the world could I sit there and give you the stories that I give you if I don't actually talk to people who have problems? These guys don't. They have no idea what's happening. Absolutely correct. Yes. All right. Robert says, I have a question. Let me preface this question with I'm writing in Sharpe for governor. Thank you. But could Zeldin reach out to third-party voters, Green Libertarian, etc., and promise to correct these ballot access issues? Yes. That could turn a lot of heads, and it could get him lots of votes, even if he lied and didn't do anything about it. Yes. My question was, would Zeldin rather lose or reach out to voters that could actually change things? The answer was Zeldin to win. This is a great question, right? And let me be very forward. He doesn't care. I'm not joking. He doesn't care. He's not going to win. He knows he's not going to win. It's a grift to get money. So why would he? He doesn't have policies. Why should he? He's not going to win. He knows he's not going to win. You might go, Larry, you don't know, you're not going to win either. Yes, but I actually give a shit, and I'm trying to find policies and make people see what I'm saying so I can fix my state. He doesn't care. He's going to go back to some cushy lawyer job, and you're never going to see him again. That's going to happen. Nick Langworthy is going to go off and be a congressman and laugh all the way to the bank. All you suckers who gave him money. Zeldin's going to laugh all the way to he gave tons of people money. That means they're all going to now hire him for his lawsuits so that he can make tons of money. That's how that works. And Jerry Gassar just sucked up a bunch of hundreds of thousands of dollars so he can make a bunch of money. He's laughing at you conservatives, taking your money and laughing to the bank. They don't care. You're right, Robert. How do I know this? Because I offered this already. Yes, I offered all this already. I was the guy talking to people saying, look, do you want to get together? Do you want to fix things? I asked other people, how can you guarantee me 130,000 votes? Nobody could. Nobody cared. They didn't want to talk. Why do you think I got backstabbed so much this entire year by so many people who were like, yeah, we'll work with you, Larry. Yeah, kidding. Here's a knife in the back. Yeah, because they're not going to win. They don't want to win. They don't want to make change. This is all a massive grift. But you're right. Imagine, what if Zeldin said, hey, guys, I'm going to help out. I'm going to make sure that there's third parties existing. No. Do you know what he could have done if he wanted to? He could have simply told, they're funding the conservative party that sued me to get me off the ballot. They could have simply said, drop the case. They have my phone number. Literally, they can call me. There are many Republican operatives and many Republicans who are congressmen who have my number. They could just call me and say, hey, Larry, we'll drop the case if you do this and that. They could have, and I would have considered it. I want Libertarian Party to be a party. I would have considered it. Nobody called me. So you're right. And I know the green guy. I know Howie Hawkins personally. He has my phone. Nobody called him because he would have called me saying, hey, Larry, they're making a deal. You in? He would have just called me and said that. He's not doing it. So no, you're correct. They're not doing it. Why? Because they're not going to win anyway. Who cares? Their goal isn't change or victory. Their goal is grift. I've been saying this for years. You're seeing it happen right now. At what point are you going to stop? I don't know when. So yes. Phil says it's a push poll. Yep, there was a similar poll 4 years ago. Phil, you remember? Yes. But the Republicans had a much worse outcome in the election. They did exactly the same thing. A push poll about a month out, I think it was. Maybe a month and a half out. This is about 2 months out. But a month and a half out, they did the same thing. He's closing the gap. And the Republican lost by 25 points. Same exact thing. Yes, absolutely. So, all right, let me see if I can grab this real fast. Desiree says Republicans, Democrats, two sides of the same coin. Yes. All right. Dave says, would you vote for someone that eats burnt babies for breakfast? Lee Zeldin doesn't eat burnt babies. Who are you going to vote for? That's a push poll. You're correct, Dave. You know them, right? So you guys are hearing this. They're talking about it. It's not just me saying this. Push polls are a thing, right? That's a thing. And that's what that 4-point poll was. And man, people are coping and they so want to believe it. Yes, absolutely. They so want to believe it. Yes. Laura says, Larry Sharpe all the way. Thank you. I appreciate it. Absolutely. Look, I got to be forward with you guys. I am still considering trying to go back to court again. I am, because I don't want to give up. I want to go back to, I might. But to be forward to do that, it's going to, this has already cost me almost $30,000 just in lawsuits. Just in lawsuits. It'll cost me almost another 30 to do it again. Because I have to go through at least 2 more separate lawsuits. Do you know how hard it is to raise that kind of money, keep a campaign going, pay lawyers, and still deal with petitioners? I haven't finished making all petitioners whole. To take that money in, divvy up a part here, a part here, a part there, and do it now with volunteers who now I can't pay professionals. I have to rely upon volunteers to do this work for me. And look, I love my volunteers, but you're volunteering. You're not getting paid. You've got your life to live. I get it. I can't ask that much of you if I'm not paying you. I'm not mad at them for that. I'm mad at the situation because I'd rather be able to pay people so they could just do the job. That would be awesome. I don't get to do that because I'm strapped. It cost me $300,000 to get in the ballot and already $30,000 in lawsuits. I don't have $12 million like Zeldin has. I wish I did. If I did, I'd be the. If I did, I'm not even joking, this would be a 3-way poll and I'd be at 40%. And if there was no Zeldin, if the Republicans did the smart thing and just said, you know, we're done, we're just going to back Larry Sharpe as a libertarian, I would have got on the ballot because I would have Republican money. So I would have got on the ballot. So I would have been the Republican, the conservative, the libertarian. I might have convinced the forward people to do it. Unite would have done it. They wouldn't have backstabbed me. I would have had 5 lines and I'd be the next governor. So it would have happened. But they went, no, then we can't grift. And this is all about the money. So that's what happened. Anyway, complaining doesn't matter. So yes. All righty. Let's see if I can keep going here. Laura goes on to say Larry Sharpe can fix this state. He has ideas that will actually work for New York State. Yes. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yes. Paula says, so New York liberals, vote Larry Sharpe, who was not anywhere near DC on January 6th. Yes. Neither was Zeldin, but Larry will actually respect liberals of New York. Paula, yes, you're right. That's true. Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. Terry says, I'm not voting for her or any of the Democratic. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. Yes. I love that. Yes. Very good. That is wonderful. So yes. Terry says, if you're on the ballot, I'll vote for you. Thank you, Terry. And if I'm not on the ballot, what you could do, if you wanted to, is you could write me in. We are working on that right now this week. So you guys know we're working on coming up with new designs for the signs, new designs for the stamps, new designs for everything so that we can now have the write-in as a way of doing it. So yes, we are looking at that now to make that work. Why does that matter? Because if we get the 130,000 write-in votes, we still attain party status, which means now we can create that coalition. We can create that, we can actually stop these guys. And that's what I'm trying to achieve. Without it, there's there's nothing. So I hope that makes sense. So yeah. Let's see here. Philip says Republicans are concerned with losing and getting their conciliatory fiefdoms. Man, did you just hit a good point? For you're right. There's a lot of local Republicans who are like, look, I don't care. Just let me keep my cool control of my county or my area, my district, and what you guys do. I don't care because I get to give my friends money. I get to make lots of money. I get to have a lot of power and everything. So I'm going to go do that. And many of them have done that. I think that's true. Many of them are okay with it and they just sell out. It's totally true. Yes, absolutely. So, all right, let me grab a couple more of these. Jericho says, some GOP don't even know the system is broken. Yes. And some will vote red no matter what, and some are just suffering from cognitive dissonance. Jericho, you're on the money. You are 100% correct. Yes, absolutely. Aaron says, Larry is walking so future libertarians can run. I've been saying that for a while. What did I say? I will break a hole as long as you guys follow me through. I broke a hole in 2018. It wasn't big enough. I was trying to break a bigger one this time, so they couldn't close it. They stopped me before I can break a hole. So we're going to break one anyway. We're not done. We're going to break one anyway. Yes, we're going to break one anyway. So yes. Desiree says, I'm a proud libertarian trying to make a positive difference. I'd vote for you if I live in New York. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Marshall says, thank you for doing this podcast. Good to see you at Chrissy Mayer's engagement party. Yes, I was there. I love Chrissy Mayer. She got engaged. I was there 100%. Thank you. Good seeing you there too. Absolutely. Yes. So it was good. Yes. All right. Pete says, but Larry, how many more ass beatings can we take? Pete, it's a good question. It is a good question. And I'm trying. It's just like how many licks to take to get to the 10 of Tootsie Roll Pop. We just keep doing it. Do we get to the center? I don't know how many. I guess at least one more. The problem is, and Pete, you get this. And I think other people who live in New York get this too. This really is, and I don't mean to sound cheesy, but this really is a beautiful state. I mean, it really is. There's so much beauty in this state. There's so many good people in this state. There's so many cool things in this state. It's being crushed by a broken, overarching, bloated, crushing government, overbearing government that literally breaks up families and makes people leave. It breaks up families and makes the people leave. If we could fix that aspect, New York State would be amazing. It would be, in my view, the best state in the union. And I don't mean that just because I'm biased. I mean, I'm biased, but I don't care. I'm still right. If we could just fix this damn government. This used to be the place where everybody wanted to be. So much stuff happened here. Now everyone's leaving. I don't know how many, but I got more. I got more in me, Pete. That's what I'm telling you. I got more in me. That's it. Paula says, Zeldin cannot win statistically. There are not enough Republicans in the state. Yes, they're all in Florida. So going to GOP in Florida. Yes. Miami's about to go red. It's because New York is left. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes, Paula. You're 100% correct. Absolutely. You're 100% correct. Yes. So, all right, I'm keep going here. Grab a couple more of this. All right, Joseph says, the state is too blue, so even if Zeldin won, he wouldn't have power to do anything because the state is assembly. The Senate and Assembly. This is another point, Joseph. I'm glad you brought this up. You are correct. People say, Larry, well, even if you win, you can't do anything. That's not true. I'm going to tell you why it's not true. If I win, I get the governorship, but I don't get the Senate and the Assembly, right? Wrong. I get the Senate. Why? The Senate is close enough that if enough people switched and became libertarian, we'd run the Senate with the swing vote, right? If I had like 5 to 6 libertarians in the Senate, I could run the Senate because I'd have the swing vote. They would decide which side to go to. How do I know that would happen? Because they've already told me many senators were prepared to switch if the libertarians were a real party. There's actually a bunch of people who would actually love to be libertarians, but the party doesn't exist in our state anymore. So where's the infrastructure? Where are we? They're right. They would just lose their seat. Doesn't make any sense. But if I were to win, the party would be real. They start switching. So I actually will control the Senate. Zeldin won't control the Senate, regardless if he wins or not. Nobody control the Assembly. But I actually control the Senate. Now, with that, I can begin to move the Assembly. Not just that some Democrats will be able to get behind me because some of the issues I talk about are more left than they are right. So I can still move things in the right direction either way. So, yes, I actually have more control. I'd be able to do more than Zeldin could. 100%. Yes, absolutely. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. All righty. Marshall says Larry Sharpe is the only candidate who have these long form conversations and critical assessments. Yes. The rest of them just do sound bites. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Kim says, but no one votes in New York City. Adams got in with less than 800,000 votes. No one votes in New York City. That's a very good point, right? People upstate always say the same thing to me. Larry, it doesn't matter. New York City votes in everybody. It's not true. Kim is correct. Even when it's a gubernatorial presidential election, the biggest elections, the most you ever got in New York City is 2 million votes. That's the highest you're going to get. Sometimes, like Kim shows, you're only going to get 800,000 or a million. The highest is 2 million in New York City. There are 12 million eligible voters in New York State, 10 million registered. That's only 20% of registered voters. The problem is most people in upstate New York don't vote because they believe the narrative that, well, it doesn't matter, so why vote? There are some parts of the state where only 1 in 6 people vote. How are you going to win an election with that? You can't. You can't. Now, the second part is, there's a harder part. It isn't only New York City that votes blue. All the cities vote blue. Buffalo votes blue. Syracuse votes blue. Ithaca votes blue. Utica votes blue. Right? They all vote blue. Albany votes blue. So there's that too. So you do want to make sure you're realizing that you can actually do it. So, all right. Sorry, I kept doing this here. All right. Joel says, Republican math. Larry Sharpe votes is why we lost 2018. Larry Sharpe gets 100,000 votes. Monroe lost by 1 million votes. That literally is, yes, it's all my fault. I did it all. Absolutely, yes. Patty says, what do you do when third party is under attack? You write in Larry Sharpe and fight back. Ooh, it's a rhyme too. Patty, look at you. You are a poet. What do you do when third party is under attack? You write in Larry Sharpe and fight back. She is correct. You should follow what she's saying. She's right. Yes. So, Pete, of course, national debt, 30 trillion, 894 billion, 94 million, 123,383 dollars and 54 cents. That's it. We're almost at 31 trillion. Look at us go. Look at us go. I like that. We're almost there. Yes. Rob says, I think the Republicans in this state are just propped up by the Democrats. Kind of true. Maybe. Chewin says, maybe Zeldin should take Hochul's advice and take a bus to Florida, see what real Republicans look like. That's very funny. Well, there we go. Maybe he can go take a trip and see how that would work. 100%. Jason says, think Trump should donate to Hochul's campaign. That should put her in last place. Jason, that's brilliant. If they really want to win, have Trump come to New York and do a fundraiser for Hochul. Done and done. If that happens, Zeldin could win. I might change my tune. If Trump actually came in and did a fundraiser for Hochul, I might change my tune. Absolutely. Yes. I like that. Very good. All right. Joel says, radio talk. Caller asked pro Zeldin host how Zeldin will get anything done in the Democrat run New York State. Poor host had no idea how to answer. I know, because there is no way. I actually told you what to do, what I would do, how I would work. I gave you an actual answer. He can't. He'll just go, day one, I'm going to do this. No, you're not. There's nothing for you to do, dude. You're not doing anything. You're going to sit there and get destroyed. And you're not going to win anyway, so who cares? The Rocket Man says, Zeldin's out of touch. That's for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Marshall says, I actually give a shit. Should be the slogan. It's true. Right? And even people who get mad at me, who don't like what I'm saying, who think I'm wrong, they know I care, or I wouldn't be doing this. Right? Why would I go through all the pain of doing this? I have a show with my name on it. I don't need a vanity run. My name hasn't gotten stronger with this horrible run I've gone through. If anything, it's been run through the mud even worse than ever. I didn't gain anything with that. I have a business already where I make money and survive. I'm not grifting off of this. I don't raise it. You can see where money goes. I take literally none of it. You can check it. I mean, it is public knowledge. I take none of it. It all goes out to somebody else. You donate to me, I get exactly zero of those dollars. It goes to everybody else, not me. So I'm not grifting off of this. Yes. So even people don't like me know that part is true. You're right. Yes, absolutely. 100%. So, all right. The red vape and by the way, I was in the vape shop. I was at the Green Witch vape shop in Greenwich, New York, but it's called Greenwich, right? Yes. Green Witch vape shop in Greenwich, New York, this weekend. So I've been supporting the vape world for a long time, and I still do. It's not because of vape. I don't personally vape, but people should be able to do what they feel with their body. And if vaping is something you enjoy, if vaping helps you to get rid of, stop smoking or lose weight or whatever, or deal with your stress level, whatever it is, good for you. Do what's right for you, what makes you feel good. So thank you. He says, Zeldin is just a cog in the Republican establishment. Trump shouldn't be behind Lee Zeldin. Doing so makes Trump look like an establishment Republican like Liz Cheney and other rhinos. Ooh. Well, you gotta look at it where Trump's head is, right? Trump right now is also under siege, as anyone who can watch and see. He's looking for any allies he can get. And I don't blame him for that. If I was Trump, I'd be looking for allies too, right? I mean, you would be too, brother. If you were in trouble, you'd be looking for allies too. And Zeldin's desperate. I mean, look, if he runs out of money before the campaign's over, do you know how embarrassing that is? I mean, I'm in trouble, but I'm supposed to be in trouble. I'm the third-party guy who they've been breaking through the coals and smashing and making me do lawsuits and drop $10,000 on lawyers. So, yeah, I'm supposed to be in trouble. He's supposed to be the big bad Republican with tons of money. So he looks terrible. So he is that desperate, because you're right. He shouldn't be doing that. He has to. He has to. So he says, the court could have followed our Constitution. Yes, and Shelley was there, by the way. Like, Shelley showed up. Thank you, Shelley. Shelley showed up. And the court literally was like, you know what? No. You know what? No. We don't care what you think. Oh, you have real logical answers and you have real arguments? Yeah, we're going to go with no because that messes up our narrative, so we're not going to do it. So, yes, absolutely. All right. Sean says, all Dems and Republicans listening in New York vote for Sharpe. Yes, do what Sean says. The election isn't going to be swayed by your vote, but your vote could make a huge difference if you get 5 or 10% for Sharpe. A meaningful vote is on your screen right now. Thank you for bringing this up. Man, my chat is so smart. I'm not trying to kiss your butt. I'm sorry. That's not my goal. But the people who are in this chat are like thinking and saying smart things and trigger me into thinking better stuff. I see chats and it's just like, I'm going to repeat stuff you say. You guys actually like challenge me and say things smart and make me think differently. Thank you, Sean, for that. You're right. If you are a Republican in this state, your guy's not going to win. Your vote is a complete waste of time and money. And I'll give you the best example I can. In 2018, if you put your time, your money, and your energy behind either Cuomo or the Republican, either last time, what'd you get? Nothing. Neither of them are here. Nothing changed. Stuff just got worse. You got nothing. If you put your time, money, and energy into me, what'd you get? I'm still here. I'm still giving you reasons to stay in this state. I'm still giving you answers to fix things. I'm still fighting for us to have a good state. I'm still here. So if you put time, money, energy into my campaign in 2018, I'm still here. You got an investment. You got an investment. Vote now for the Republican. You get nothing. What you get is Kathy Hochul. Vote now for the Democrat. What do you get? Kathy Hochul. You get the same thing either way. Vote for me. Sadly, you'll probably still get Kathy Hochul. That'll probably still happen. However, you will also get a third party. You will also get someone who will fight against the establishment. You will also have a vehicle for people who you know or you love or who you value to work and make change locally. If you live locally in New York State, and this is great for Sean's point, if you live locally in New York State and you aren't part of the establishment, you can't change anything. But if we have a third party, you can run as a third party with an infrastructure and make change in your local area. Well, Larry, is that going to happen? Yeah, already did. If you remember, I say it all the time and I keep saying it. 2018, when we got party status, the next year, we had 107 local victories across New York State. Yes, you guys saw me. I crossed the state. I support other candidates. You see me do it. I bring them on my show. I physically go out. I run fundraisers. I help them out. I help with the policy out. I help candidates to make changes. Literally what I did for the 3 years in between my last run and this run, 4 years, between my last 2 runs, my last run and this one. All I did was help out candidates. You know, I had over 100 candidates on my show. Helped them all to raise money, helped them all to fix their message, all of them. No one else does that. No one else does that. In the past 6 years, I've raised over $1.5 million for myself and other candidates. No one else does that. No one else does. So yes, it is absolute investment in third parties, in change, against the establishment. If you're a Republican or Democrat, thanks to the Republicans and conservatives suing me off the ballot, they've made sure that Kathy Hochul is going to win now. So you Republicans should love your establishment. Thank them for giving us Kathy Hochul again. They did it, not me. They did. So that's now their goal. They have it. So what's your goal? Just have Kathy Hochul and no one to fight them? Or Kathy Hochul and me? You know, the Republican Party can't fight her. If they could have fought her, they would have beaten them over the last 20 years. And they haven't. How much time are you going to give them? New kid in the block. Bring us in. That's how it works. So yes. Andrew says, don't give up New York. Yes. Don't give up, Larry. I'm praying for you. Thank you, my friend. I'm still here. Yes, I'm still here. Absolutely. Let's see here. Paula says, Larry, if you don't go back to court, I don't think anyone could blame you. I respect how hard you fought for your state. And there are days when I think about running for office in Ohio as a Republican, selling your plans. I could not have lasted as long as you have. I don't know how many people who could. Well, 2 things. 1, please steal my ideas, Paula. I don't care what you run as. Run as or whatever. But if you can steal my ideas, please do so. Because if they work in Ohio, maybe someone in New York will see them work and will take them. Yes. Then I don't have to run again. So yes, please, Paula, if you would take all of them. In fact, ask me. I will walk you through them. Literally every one of them. I'm happy to do so. Take all of them. I'm giving you carte blanche. Take them all, please. And yeah, I think you're right. No one else has. Everyone else has quit. I'm the only one still in this game. And I'm the only one going to court. It's just hard to keep going back to my donors. And that's hard for me. I'm going to ask you guys right now again. If you can give, please give. LarrySharpe.com/donate. It's hard to keep going back to my donors and saying, look, let me have another bite at the apple. This time, maybe we can do it. And I do think maybe we can do it this time. I do. I believe we have a shot. We do. My lawyers tell me we got about a 1 in 3 shot, which is much better than we had in the past because of what's happened in the past. The past rulings have been terrible. And those who have watched it, you see how bad they are. And their assumption is no one will notice because usually no one notices and they quit. So we can do bad rulings. No one will pay attention. But the higher you get up, there's a higher chance someone's going to notice. Go, wait a minute. Wow, this is a series of bad rulings. At one point, we got to change it. It's why sometimes at the Supreme Court, something gets changed after a series of bad rulings. You go, oh my God, these are terrible. One of the things they realize is if you keep fighting, they start thinking, maybe it's real. This guy hasn't given up yet. Maybe it's real. That may seem dumb, but that's actually a thing. They might go, he didn't quit. He's still going. Maybe it's real. Maybe we should read it this time. And I'm not joking. I think one of my judges didn't even bother reading it. I don't think Dave Weinstein even read it. The Judge Weinstein, I don't think he even read it. His ruling was so bad, I don't think he actually read what I wrote. I don't think he did. That's how bad it is. But now it will be a 3rd appeal, so maybe they'll actually read it this time. I would hope so. So, yes. Thank you for that. So, in any case. All right, let's see here. Aaron says, I wonder if someone can convince Tim Pool to put you on one of his billboards in the city. I got to ask him. Maybe he'll do it. I'll see if he'll do it. I'll ask him. See if we can make that happen. I like that idea, though. I do like your idea. Yes. Joseph says, I think your ideas are great. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I do appreciate that. Absolutely. So the Red Vape says, just so I'm clear, I'm not a Republican or Democrat. I'm anti-establishment, independent / libertarian. Whichever my state allows. I try to claim Team Gold in New Hampshire, the ballot office, put me as Republican. Yeah, I think a lot of people are that, right? I think a lot of people are. They're basically just not the two, right? They don't want to be that. That's right, yes. Vinny says, as many as it takes to make an impact. Yeah, I think we have to do that. Yeah. Robert says, do we have to use a stamp or can it actually be written in the box? Yes, you can just write in my name, Larry Sharpe. The stamps aren't required. The stamps are several things. The stamps ensure it can be legible, number one. But the stamps work as other things too. The stamps work as almost like a gimmick. They work almost as like wearing a shirt. Like people see you with a stamp. It's a thing. Like people, oh yeah, right. That's that Larry Sharpe guy. It's a reminder. Oh, I can write that Larry Sharpe guy's name in. So the stamps work as a gimmick, making you think about it. Hopefully people pick it up. They see it. They want to do it. So yeah, I really think that they do work. But no, you do not have to stamp. You can just write the name in. It works totally 100%. Yes. So can you just be that way? Yes. All right. Let me keep going. Red Vapes asked, did New York pass a bill allowing non-residents to vote in New York with 30-day residency? No, that's not a state law. That is a city law. And I think it did pass. Maybe. I should check it out because it's the city elections are next year, so I'll know by then. So yes, that's a city law. That was a city ruling, not a state ruling and not a federal ruling. It was city. So yeah, I don't think so. Yep. All right. Ross says, I also saw a poll at 5%, Larry. Yes. I have been in many different levels. I've been at 4%, 5%. I'm averaging now 4.5%, I think is my average. Because the push polls, I do poorly in push polls, right? So I'm like 2% in a push poll, but in non-push polls, I've got as high as 7%. So I'm average right now. I'm averaging about 4.5%. So yes. Rocketman says no non-citizen voting right. Yeah, I agree with you. A lot of people are okay with it. I'm not. I think citizens vote. You're not a citizen, no voting. I don't look. I'm pro. I am very pro legal immigration. I think we should have vibrant legal immigration, 100%. I think we should have a pathway for people who come here to be able to get green cards and all those cool things. I'm not anti-immigrant at all. You know I'm not. But you want to vote, you got to be a citizen. And some libertarians don't like that. I know. But that's where I stand. Some libertarians think I'm wrong on that one. But citizens vote. If you're a citizen of the country, you can vote in that country, which I'm okay with, right? Head on back to your country during election day, vote over there for who you want, and come back and work. I'm good with that, right? Vote where you are the citizen. That is how I feel. Again, I know some libertarians don't like that. I guess we disagree on that one. I hope you still love me. I hope you love me still. So yes. All righty. Phil says they vote blue because they decided they want free stuff instead of freedom. Well, there's a couple things, Phil. I think some people do believe that. I think some people believe that they believe they've been battered for so long that they're entitled now. I think you do find that, absolutely. And some of them have a valid point, right? In that if you can give, $40 billion to this and $80 billion to that, why can't you pay for my schooling? They have a point. Not that I agree, but they have a point. So there's some of that. But there's also people just afraid or scared of the other, right? They've been told forever that, and this is the part that bothers me in New York, is most of the things that have happened in the federal level, New York has already codified and made sure nothing will change. But people are afraid, right? It doesn't make sense for you to make any voting decision on either guns or abortion in New York State. Why? It's both are codified. You can't get guns and abortions are on demand. That's New York State. It's codified in New York State. Whatever you feel about those two things, that's true. The federal government can make all the rules it wants. That's not going to change in New York State, right? They literally said concealed carry is good, and New York State made it hard to get a gun. So that's done. So why would you make a decision based upon those two things in New York State? Other states, I get it. You might think differently on a national level. You might think differently. But in New York State, no bearing on your life at all. None. And there are lots of people making rules, and I'm voting based upon that. So there's some of the fear also. So you are correct. And there's a fear level too. There's both of those things. So yes. Morgan says Trump endorses Hochul. Not a bad deal. I don't know. It's not a bad deal, Morgan. They might do that. Yes. Robert says, I've been getting a lot of calls from polling companies, and they don't understand how I'm not for any Republican Democrat, which is why you will see often when they have the undecided or not other, or undecided or other or something, those are Larry Sharpe votes. A lot of those are, because they do a poll, and you might say, well, Larry, why don't they put you in every poll? They don't put me in every poll because the person who decides who's in the poll is the person who buys the poll. I'm not making that up. The person who buys the poll is the person who decides who's in the poll. So if I buy the poll, I'm in the poll. If I don't buy the poll, who knows who's in the poll? I don't know who's in the poll. Whatever. They will sometimes put me in the poll to try to legitimize the poll, right? If I'm in the poll, it looks like it's more legitimate, right? Oh, it's not a biased poll because they put Larry Sharpe in. And they'll do that sometimes. Sometimes they don't care and go, no, I'm not having Larry Sharpe in this poll. I don't care. I'm putting in the people I want in, nobody else. Depends upon the people buying the poll. And the poll is sometimes bought by the candidates, sometimes bought by the party, sometimes bought by PACs. And if a PAC has an agenda, the PAC will buy it and decide what their agenda is. And they'll put me in based upon their agenda. If their agenda is just to show a big gap and that's their goal, they probably won't put me in because they want to show a big gap. If their goal is to be more legitimate, they'll put me in. See, we put everybody in. We're a fair poll. So it depends upon what they're trying to achieve. I hope that makes sense to you at least. Hope that was clear. So yeah. All right, if I grab a couple more. I do appreciate, guys, so much you've been putting in. I really appreciate that. It's great. All righty. Let's see if I can grab some more. Let's see here. How are you handling workers that haven't gotten paid? I just mentioned this, by the way. I have not been able to make every worker whole yet. We're still working on that. I'm raising money, and most people have been good so far. They haven't been attacking my social media very much, which is good. If you attack my social media, then people don't want to donate. You don't get paid. So the more money I raise, a chunk of that goes towards lawsuits. A chunk of that goes to running the campaign, and a chunk of that goes to paying workers. I think I think 3 or 4 checks went out last week, the week before, to the post office. We're gonna have probably 3 or 4, maybe even 5 go out this week, or probably by Friday. By Friday, maybe 4 or 5 more will go out. So we send out, as the money comes in, we send out a chunk of checks every time, 2, 3, some weeks. We've also gone. I found out later. I've had a couple of weeks where none went out. We didn't raise any money. If we don't raise money, no checks go out. So that's how I'm handling it. I hope that was clear. So I don't know who you are, Easy Verde, whoever you are. We have a list. If you have submitted all your paperwork, you will get made whole. If you have not, you won't get paid. I don't know you. If you did it, you will be made whole eventually. If you didn't, you're not getting paid. I only do what I have the paperwork for. I can't give people money who haven't submitted the right paperwork. So I hope you have. Hope that answers your question. So yes. All right. Brian says everyone should go to dem spaces and tell them that because of New York's election laws, they can kill the Republican Party if Larry gets more votes than them. It's cute. I like that. It's very good. All right. Let's see here. You're not wrong, Brian. It's true. Yes. All right. Paul says, if you really love law enforcement for Larry, he has plans to actually push decisions about policing down to local communities. Yes. Happy communities equals less crime, safer communities. This is an important point. So many people have decided that you either just give cops everything and make a rule to make cops know everything and are perfect and never make a mistake, or hammer cops, they're all bad. Neither of those two are true, right? My father was in law enforcement, right? I'm not anti-cop. What I want is local people to be policed the way they want to be policed. If you want to make changes to your police force, you should be able to. If you don't, you shouldn't have to. The problem is right now, Democrats deciding we have to revamp everything and treat every single police force like New York City. Why would you do that? New York City has 40,000 cops. Urban policing is way different than non-urban policing. So you know what? Let the urban policing change, be different than non-urban policing. Not rocket science. If you're happy with your police force, why would we change it? Cuomo forced everyone to change. Zeldin wants to come in, fire DAs. Firing DAs is a terrible idea. You might go, but these DAs are bad. Great. Then what you should do is follow a California model. I can't believe I'm actually saying follow a California model. But they're right on this one, and that is allow local people to recall their DAs. That makes sense. You don't like your DA, you screwed up voting him in, vote him out, get him out of there. I'm totally on board. But once Zeldin says, I'm going to stop firing DAs, well, he's not going to win. So what he's saying is, now Kathy Hochul can fire your DA. Do you want Kathy Hochul firing your DA if you're in a red district? No, you don't. No, you don't. So why would you want to do what stupid Zeldin's telling you to do? What a terrible idea that is. Instead, let local people decide their own DAs, how they see appropriate. Be policed how you want to be policed. Yes, that is the right answer. More local control, the better. It's not perfect, right? There will always be problems. Cops will always be human and make mistakes. People will be human and make mistakes. It will happen. But the more locally they are, the better your policing is going to be. That the better it's going to be. It's not going to be perfect. It'll be better. So yes. All right. Let's see here. Phil says, interesting fact. The big two get money from donors who just try to keep the status quo. Yes. Larry gets volunteers who believe in what he does without expecting anything. This is truly the people speaking. Oh, thank you, Phil. I appreciate that tremendously. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. Jason says, if you don't win, New York will be a lost cause you down the road of rot and decay under one party rule. Yes. Yes. However, I'm going to give you some good news. If we just can get party status, just party status, there will actually be a special rule that kicks into effect next year. And that is local elections. They're going to take New York State money, $100 million of it, your taxpayer money if you're a New Yorker, and you're now going to pay for the elections in the coming years. Yes, you're going to pay for the elections. That's how that works. They're giving $6 to $1 or $8 to $1, depending on where you are. So now, if we have party status, those local people that Paula and I talked about, you can actually run. I will physically help you raise the amount of money you need to raise so you can get matching funds. You'll get 6 to 1 or 8 to 1. Local people can win as libertarians, as third parties throughout New York State. So even if I don't win the election, if I get the 130,000 votes, we can get local people to start having victories next year because the money will come in and they'll be able to actually run real campaigns with real people to make actual cash to win local elections, to win city council, to win mayorships, to win all the things we need to win. We're going to win those small things. As they win, we'll be able to build up more of a swarm of people, build a swarm of people up. Now 2026 comes, we're on the ballot. Guess how much the governor gets if the governor runs? I'm not joking. It's going to blow your mind. In the primary, $3 million. And after the primary, another $3 million. I'm not joking. $6 million. You give me $6 million, I'm the next governor. No one will beat me. I don't care if Kathy Hochul raises $100 million. You give me 6, I win. Why? I don't have to beat Kathy Hochul in dollars. I just have to make sure every New Yorker knows who I am. If every New Yorker knows who I am, I win. I'm not joking. We've done the numbers on this. The way I actually move people, if enough people just know who I am, I'll get the 35 to 40% to win the three-way race. Done deal. I'm the next governor. She can run all the ads she wants. Will not matter. So there's some good news. There is still a way of winning. It's tough, but we can still do it. Justin says, I think the appeal was worse in some ways. Sounded decided on briefs alone. Yes, I think that's right. And decided heavily on precedent, which sucks. I can't stand that. They just keep going back on, well, the other guy said it. Well, that's why this is an appeal. So don't just listen to the last guy because we think he's wrong. That's why we're appealing. That was happening too. So, yeah, but the biggest issue, Justin, is they didn't let me speak. So you don't know that. They literally just had a technicality and goes, oh, you don't get to speak. So I drive 3 hours to get there, spend all the money. I'm pro se and get to say nothing. And they're like, well, whatever. We don't care. They didn't care about my rights at all. That's the norm. My norm is they take a big steamy dump all of my rights and go, well, we're judges. So go to hell, you citizen. You have no value to us. That's the norm. So yes. So anyway, Joseph, stamps are cool. I agree. The stamp idea is a good one. That's how they actually did it, right? That's how they did it in Buffalo. For those of you who don't know, the current mayor of Buffalo won with a write-in, right? The current mayor of our second largest city in New York State won with a write-in. One of these used with stamps. So we're copying. Every time that I give you an idea or concept, there's always an example of success in everything I do. I found an example someplace else of success, and then I modify it to my arena. That's it, right? That did work before. We modify it for us. Yes. So yeah. Beefing Now says, I agree though on voting where you are a citizen. I agree. Me too. Yeah. I think that's the right answer. I think you vote where this is citizenship. I think that's the right answer. That's what I agree. And then he goes on to say they could, become a citizen through legal ways, then they could vote. Yeah, if you become a U.S. citizen, I'm good. Vote. You're a citizen. No worries about that. Absolutely. If you're a citizen, vote. You become a citizen, that's a citizen. You can vote. No worries whatsoever. As long as you do whatever the thing is to make that happen, I'm totally okay. So yes. All right. Phil, it's just a thought. Can you use a stamp and pass it on to someone as soon as you're done with it? Tell them to use a stamp and pass it on. Of course you could. Yes. And some people will. Yes. Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. Morgan says, Jim Connon, not many parents have alternative schooling options. This is someone else. Yes, absolutely. 100%. If you know my schooling plan, it allows for local control, plus it also allows for credits for people who want to go to who want to homeschool or private school. Because you're right, I'm lucky in my regard, right? I'm fortunate in that I could take my daughter out of school. I have a wife who's a stay-at-home mom who could handle the schooling. Not everybody has that, right? Not every mom or dad wants to stay home. Some both want to work. Some both have to work, right? Whether it's up, and obviously you choose whether it's whatever's going to work for you and your family. No judgment, whatever's going to work for you. So some don't have that option or don't want that option. Well, what if you had a credit of 6,000 and go to private school? You don't have to stay home if you don't want to, right? So that would give a whole change. That would change everything. So that's part of my plan, to allow people who aren't in a position to where they can homeschool to still come up with private schools, right? That's the issue. So yes. All right. Juan says, curious, has the Supreme Court ever ruled on ballot access? Ain't strict ballot access laws go against the First Amendment? I've been saying that for years, Juan. They don't seem to agree with me. But could we go to the Supreme Court? In theory, we could. Absolutely. We don't have the time. And am I going to raise $100,000? A very good lawyer friend of mine said this one time. He said, Larry, can you afford justice? And I hated when he said that. I hated it. But he was right. And sadly, if you can't afford justice, you don't get justice. If I can raise $100,000 to go to this, maybe. Juan, I'm open to it, but I'm trying to win an election, or at least get some. There's only so much I can do. But you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, wow, it's a lot. So yes. Phil says, stamp party. Fill up a car with people and share a stamp. Ooh, I like that. Get pizza afterwards. That is amazing. That's a really good idea. I love that, Phil. That's awesome. Yes, I love that idea. Very good. Yes. Christine says, supporting you from Lake of the Ozarks. Oh, so nice. Thank you. Laura says, you are the only candidate to visit all 62 counties in New York. And I've done so, by the way, 4 times. I'm in the process of doing it a 5th time this year. I haven't finished yet. I think I'm on county 43 or 42. I have about 20 more counties left before I do all 62 this year too. I have not finished this year. So yeah, we'll figure that out. Yes. Let's see here. Yeah, Shirley was there. She goes, the appeal was appalling. How do 7 judges not follow the state constitution at all? It was bizarre. I don't know either. Yes, I would agree with you. It was horrible. Yes, absolutely. 100%. So, guys, if you can support, please do so. You can support many ways. The simplest way you can support is just by liking and commenting and sharing. That is the simplest way you can support. Sharing groups, share to your friends, share the places. That's amazing. That is the simplest, easiest, cheapest way you can support. The second way you can do it, which is still cheap, not as easy, is to support the world's smallest political quiz. They are the sponsor of the show, right? They sponsor the show. It's theadvocates.org. Please click that link and share it in other places. Put it in place. Take it. Take the test if you haven't taken it. Share your results. Ask your friends to take it. They want people to come. And the reason why I want them to be my sponsor is I believe in them. I believe what they're trying to achieve. They're trying to get people to realize it isn't just a left-right paradigm. They may not be as conservative or as liberal as they think they are. Maybe they're more moderate. Maybe they're more libertarian. Maybe third parties are open for them. This will help people to see it. But more importantly than all of that, if you talk with someone about the questions, they're very open-ended. They are. It starts a conversation. And I can't move people towards liberty if I can't have a conversation. The world's smallest political quiz has been doing that for literally decades, and I mean decades. If you can share it, please do so. If you want to take it and show your results again, please do it. It does help. It keeps my sponsors happy. It keeps me happy. Also, you can just donate. If you want to give some money, please give. Whatever you can. If you can give $50, that helps. That makes some stamps. So when I ask how much it costs to make a stamp, we think probably around $4 to $5 is my assumption, I think. But we'll see. It depends on the bulk how many we buy. Obviously, it goes down if you buy more. We have to have a stamp that is self-inking, right? We don't want to be able to bring ink, right? So it's a self-inking stamp that costs more. So it does cost cash. So if you can throw some money our way to make that happen, that would help tremendously. So thank you so much if you do that. Also, if you don't want to, instead you want to buy some cool merch, please, LarrySharpe.com/shop. Get a cool mug, get a shirt, get a sign, whatever. By the way, we will have new signs coming out probably by next week. We'll be right in signs, right in Larry Sharpe with the next sign. That one, if you can do it, it helps tremendously. Whatever you can do to help is going to help us out. We need everything we can do. We are still fighting. I don't want to stop. To what Paula mentioned, do I sometimes want to quit? Of course. Just a human being. I'm just a man. I'm not, I'm just a dude. And of course I want to quit sometimes. Of course I want to just forget about it and just go back to my family and stop doing this. Of course. And at the same time, I realize if I don't do it, who's gonna? Not this year. It's me or nothing right now. That's what it is right now. Everyone else has quit. It's just us. That's it. And I'm going to say this, and I want you all to really understand this. If you are a third-party person, you like third parties, you care about any of this stuff, if we don't get party status November 8th, if we don't get party status, we don't get 130,000 votes at least, if we don't do that, there will not be a third party with 50 state ballot access in this country for a generation. For a generation. You think this country can survive the left-right deepening hole between people for 20 more years? It can't. This country will explode. There's no hyperbole in that. That's not how I speak. I don't speak by hyperbole unless I'm obviously joking or something, right? I'm not here. I would ask you, if we don't get a third party, you have some other way of us healing our wounds? No, you don't. No, you don't. All you see is people talking about, national divorce, fighting this, blah, 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 biting, violence. That's all you hear. Who's not saying that? Me. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying let's get a third party in there, have conversations, fix some things, leave people alone, let people be who they want to be, stop enforcing your rules upon others so we can live together. I'd like to live together. I know that's asking a lot, but I would like it. Democrats are not saying that. Democrats are literally saying, get out of my state. Literally saying, get out of my state. Republicans are saying, gonna fire everybody, get them all out of here. That's what they're saying. I'm saying, can we please live together without wanting to force our view upon others? If we don't do that, and we don't have a third party, there'll be no one in a third party in New York State for a generation, and no national candidate for a generation. That's the ball game. Pack up. This matters. This matters. And look, do I think I'm the guy to save the world? I said before, I don't. I hope I can save the world. I don't think I'm that guy. Am I the guy to set it up for someone to save it? Yeah, I think I am. I'm the one who I said, I'll break a hole. You got to go through the hole. I'll be in the front line. I'll break it. Someone else got to come in behind me and fix this. Someone else got to come in behind and make this stuff happen. Right? Someone's got to do that. I'm in. I'll do my part. You got to go do yours. Guys, thank you so much for tonight. I appreciate all the time you gave me. I'll be doing my free solution tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I hope I'll see you all then. Have a great night.